We'll be on YouTube in just a second. And we are live. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. We're glad you're here tonight. Harlequin is usually co-hosting. She is at an event. She's been there all day long. They had no idea it was going to run in this late. So she called just a few minutes ago and said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to co-host tonight." I said, "I got this." It's really simple. Having a co-host allows somebody to make sure that people are muted, unmuted, and into the room. But I think I can manage that myself. So if this is the first time that you've joined us, welcome. My name is Ellen Winn. I'm your senior team leader, and I'm your senior, not because I'm the oldest, although I'm probably one of the oldest in DAC, but it's because of my tenure here. I've been with DAC since June of 2018. So just celebrated my 7-year anniversary. And I've got tremendous experience, not only with DAC, but also in business in general. I've been an entrepreneur since 1997 when I walked away from corporate America to start my own brand of pizza restaurants. I've been in the restaurant industry for about 25 years and really got sick and tired of working for corporate America, started my own brand, was an owner operator of 2 different locations here in my hometown of Dallas, Georgia, and went for there for 6.5 years, owner operator of not 1 but 2 locations, and then I hit burnout. And guys, my story is really pretty cool because I was searching for an opportunity to get out of the restaurant business, and that's really all I had known for about 30 years. That was my whole background, from bartending right out of college to working in local restaurants and bars and management on into corporate, where I worked with Domino's Pizza and was in upper management with them. And because I was putting it out there to the universe that I was looking for something else to do, I received a call one night from a high school friend of mine saying, "Hey, Ellen, I've got this opportunity I'd like to invite you to come look at." Well, I had never heard of an opportunity like that. And I said, "Sure, I'll come take a look." Well, when I first saw that opportunity structure, it reminded me so much of the franchising organization I had been involved with the Pizza World. And I thought, man, this could be my exit strategy. So I got involved. That didn't happen to be the company that was going to be the long haul. In fact, they were brand new and one of these ground floor opportunities that so many people want to pitch you on. But it did give me the vision and the ability to know that there was another way out rather than having to own a traditional business, having hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in a brick and mortar business that was costing me a fortune every month. And I was making just pennies. In fact, all my employees were making more money than I was because they were guaranteed to get paid on payday every Friday. And I only got paid if we made a profit, right? So I tell that story because I come through to DAC with that background as business owner in traditional world, and I really know what business owners go through. In fact, when I first saw DAC, it really resonated with me because of that business background that I had. Ever since I walked away from the restaurant industry, I've been self-employed. I've not had a job since 1997, other than, excuse me, a job that I created for myself as business owner. And so many business owners are that. They own a job, right? And I began owning a job when I first started my limousine business back in, gosh, that's been 15 years ago. So in 2010, no, 20, it's almost 15 years ago. Anyway, when I started my limousine business, I found that I was owning a job, even though I was the owner and worked when I wanted to. If I didn't work when my clients needed me and when they had that demand or request out there, if I told them no, I wasn't going to get repeat business. So I was owning my own business, but really my business owned me. So today with DAC, I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight into how good a DAC business can be for you and how it can really change your life if you'll take it seriously. I don't report to work. I work from home 100% of the time, unless I choose to go work with one of my limousine clients, which I still do that. I have my limousine business, but I have a team of drivers. I've got clients on the road tonight with some of my team driving clients on my behalf. They get paid well. I make an override just like in DAC. I bill the client, I collect, I pay the drivers. We both make money and it's a win-win. But I don't have to leave home if I don't want to, because mainly because of DAC and the income that I've been able to generate here, in addition to my insurance agency and limousine. So being an entrepreneur, if you take it seriously and don't treat it like a hobby, you can really have a significant income stream here, and it can be life-changing as far as your ability to have time freedom, have additional money or more money than you ever imagined possible, and what it is that you can do with that time freedom and that money, whether it's donating to charitable causes or just because you don't have to go to work, you can volunteer your time to help in your community, whatever it is that really fills your heart and your needs and wants to help people in the community. So let me get us kicked off into screen share mode. I'm going to go through a few quick slides, and then if any of you have questions, I'm going to take questions, open up for Q&A at the end of my presentation. But let me get us into screen share and find the slides. There we go. Okay, so when you get started with DAC, the beauty of this business is you have choices of how you work and where you work from. It's completely remote, right? You can come in and be a solo broker and you be the only one that's getting clients, or you can take advantage of our compensation plan and say, hey, I'm going to enroll some other people and get them started as brokers. And then as that business starts taking off, your agency can really grow and you can be like me and have a nationwide business. And I'm in all 50 states with thousands of agents across the country. Now, out of those thousands of agents that have signed up in my business, they're not all active. There have been a lot of people that have come and gone. Their business has been canceled because they didn't renew. A lot of them that are here today still haven't gotten certified. And I'm going to give you some statistics in a minute that hopefully will be a kick in your seat if you hadn't gotten certified yet, okay? But you've got the full option of how you choose to do your business because it's your business. You own your DAC business. It is yours, and whatever you create with it, it is willable and it is sellable. So if you build a big business here, it can be passed along to loved ones, or you can decide to sell your business because it is legitimately your business and you have all rights to it as long as you're maintaining and following the DAC procedures and you're not violating any of our marketing policies. You've got a long-term business here, okay? All right, so first thing I want to do is congratulate our top recruiter, normally recruiters, but this week we only had one person that had more than one new recruit for the week, and I'm super proud of Jasmine Ledbetter. Jasmine was on last week's list of new brokers who had just gotten started and who had also completed certification. So she just got started last week. She has now recruited 7 new brokers. And I want to congratulate this next list. This is our list of brokers who enrolled last week and who also completed certification. And folks, pay attention. There are 7 people on this list. 6 out of those 7 are people that Jasmine Ledbetter recruited into DAC. So congratulations, Jasmine, doing a great job. Not only did you get certified, but you're reiterating the importance of certification to your team members as they get started. So I'd like to congratulate our new team members who have already gone through certification their first week in the business. That's Adrian Barber, Tabby's Reload LLC, Tamika Lee, Christopher Fowler, Ashley Tinsley, Erica Benetti, and Alpha Bridge Consulting. Way to go, way to get started, way to take this seriously. And hopefully I'm going to see you guys on a list of some big commissions here in the very near future. Now, talking about DAC and how simple this business is, you know, really, we want to keep it super simple. Just go through the certification, refer people over to DAC, and our funding team is going to take it from there most of the time. Sometimes you're going to need to nudge them along. I had a client that was pre-approved 2 weeks ago, and in that 2-week period, She drug her feet on some delays on accepting the offer that was given. Lynette, I'm going to turn your camera off. You got a lot of activity going on in the background and it's distracting. You can turn it back on when you get yourself positioned, okay? But sometimes you have to nudge people along. I had a client that was not moving forward quickly enough, and there were some things in her file that because her file sat there and she didn't accept the offer and move along quickly, some other underwriters took a look at that file and declined their offer. They withdrew their offer. And then we had to go to the secondary offer that she received. Same thing happened there, kind of slow go in the process. Another underwriter took a deeper dive and found some things that they weren't willing to do an approval on, but we finally got her funded today. That offer went from 85,000 down to 40,000 by the time she finally got funded. So I tell you this story. So as a broker, when you have someone that has an offer out there, you want to be real with them and you want to talk to them about how the process works. Okay. Once you get someone through the process and they're getting an offer from us, about day 2, you need to write this down if you're not already taking notes. About day 2, after someone has submitted and gone through a completed file with us, meaning they've uploaded a signed application and they've uploaded their documents, about 2 days after we get all of that stuff, your client is going to start getting calls from other lenders. And I promise you, DAC has nothing to do with any of those calls that are going out to your clients. What happens is typically it's Experian, because Experian is usually where we pull the FICO from. An easy way to remember this: experts use Experian, the EX there. That's who we're mainly pulling the FICO score from. But as soon as we do that, then Experian is selling what's called trigger leads. And those trigger leads are getting sold to other independent brokers that are out here trying to make money. Not all of them are reputable, and a lot of them will try to trick your client. In fact, my client personally told me, she said, I'm getting calls every day from people trying to offer me a loan. When we talked about what it was, we went through and said, look, they'll even call you and say, hey, I have your information here in front. I just need one more bank statement. So again, they're unscrupulous, and they're doing anything that it takes for them to try to steal your client. So you want to make sure you communicate with your client on that, okay? But as a broker, you hand that over. If the client moves on through the process, it's pretty simple as long as you're keeping them in the communication loop. And remember, you can get paid on your own deals too. But I want to recap, if you haven't been on our daily Zooms that are being, our daily huddles that are held by corporate, every Monday through Friday at 11:30 Eastern time. Here's a few of the recent fundings since our Zoom last Monday. And these are just a couple that were mentioned every day on corporate. Fitness Center was approved and funded with a $104,000 line of credit. Why are we telling you this? Because hopefully it'll spur your memory of someone that you know that owns one of these businesses, right? Or it can be your story to tell on social media or in a meeting, right? I talked last week, I talked about business relationships and creating referral relationships with local bankers. Guys, me standing up and telling a story about a funding client got instant attention in the room. So remember that facts tell. I can say, hey, I'm a business funding broker. I'm available to help you get funding. If you can't get approved by your local bank, we're here to help you. I can tell that fact, right? Or I can tell the story like I did when I stood up in front of these other commercial lenders and I said, hey, I'm in the business funding space. If you can't help, pointing to the bankers in the room, if you can't help your clients get business funding that they need, I probably can. We were just able to help a local daycare center get an offer for $85,000 when her bank wasn't able to help. I gave that story and I immediately started getting referrals because the dollar signs and my story of helping when the bank couldn't help really resonated with them. So remember that telling a story helps. So this fitness center, we got them a $104,000 line of credit. You can do a screenshot of this if you want to, so you've got these as to remember. We did a pizza restaurant. They got $30,000. It was a renewal funding. What is a renewal funding? That means that they've already gotten money from DAC before, and when a renewal comes in, that means that either our renewal team inside of Bank Breezy is contacting clients on your behalf, or maybe the client realized they needed more money and they reached out to us and said, hey, is there any way I can get more money? Either way, it was renewal funding for $30,000. There's also a trailer company that got $2.5 million. This is the largest funding that DAC has had in its history. We were just at 2 million. Now we're up at 2.5 million for a trailer company. We also have an auto glass company that received $75,000. Another restaurant that got $30,000, and the daycare center here at the bottom, that's my client that went from 85 down to 40,000, but she got funded today. The money will be in her account tomorrow morning. It was pending in her account this afternoon, so that one was a done deal. Remember, DAC has the best offer guarantee, so we're going to work hard to get your clients the best offer in the marketplace. Anybody that applies through us, let it work the process. Let our team do all of the work and find the best offer for them. If your client isn't satisfied with that offer and they go shop it somewhere else, it could be that deal killer, that extra time, like the story I just shared about my client, where the offer got declined or decreased because they found something in the file that they didn't like. But we do have that best offer guarantee. Our team's going to do the absolute best to find the lowest price funding option available for them in the marketplace outside of traditional bank funding. Now, this is a sad truth, and I said I was going to point this out, but guys, remember, until you complete certification, not just you, but people in your team, you will be classified as a referral partner and are only going to earn 10% of the bonus revenue instead of 40% or more that our certified brokers earn. Why do I point this out tonight? Well, today was payday for Giggle clients. You get a Giggle client funded, that's those small fundings for folks that are doing less than 15,000 or operating through a business personal checking account. We get paid on the 20th of each month for all of the Giggle clients that got funded last month and also made their first payment. If they didn't make their first payment, we don't get paid commission. But today was payday for the 20th, happened to be on the weekend. So today was payday for Giggle. And as I looked at my Giggle report, here's the sad number. Those Giggle payouts that were made, 55% of the people in my team who just earned a commission on the Giggle run were not certified. So that means that 55% of those people that earned a commission only got paid 10% instead of at least 40% that they would earn if they just took the time to go through certification. Okay? I've made this super simple. So there's no excuses for you to not be certified and nobody on your team to not be certified. If they are breathing, if they can fog a mirror, they should be able to get certified, right? I created a tutorial. It's over at lms.ellenwinn.link. That website right here, lms.ellenwinn.link. It is not cap sensitive. I just capitalized it so it was easier for you to read. But if you go to that website, it's going to take you over to my YouTube channel. It's an 8-minute video where I walk you through step by step of getting into the certification process, how to reset or create a password, and how to make sure that you're going through to get the certification, even all the way down to printing out the broker certificate. So again, no excuses. There's no reason why anybody that's getting a funding client should not already be certified. The scary truth on this, that 55% that weren't certified, a handful of them were new clients. So they're actively out here promoting their link and haven't gotten certified. But several of those that were only paid at 10% were renewal clients. How does that work? Well, that's where the client got funded once, they come back for more money. So it could be a broker that's not even really active in the business anymore. They had a client a long time ago, and now that client's come back for more money, and that broker's not getting paid as much as they could if they would take the time to go through certification. So that's my spiel on certification and how important it is. Okay. Updates. When you go to log into your back office, you may see this screen. It is legitimate. This is part of the login process to make sure that DAC now has your correct tax ID number. So here, if you notice, I'm signed up as Ellen Winn Agency under my EIN number, and it's asking for your Social Security or EIN. Okay. Make sure you enter the correct one. If you signed up with a business entity, then you need to enter your EIN number. If you signed up with your personal name, then you need to enter your Social Security number. If you cross them up, it won't match and the system will kick it out. Okay, so enter the correct ID for whichever type entity you're signed up with as an individual or through a business entity. Once you enter that, click submit and it'll take you right into the back office. Okay, the next thing is we've been talking about Relevate cards. They came in the mail today. I got mine. It's in a plain white envelope and it has a return address from Relevate. So I got my new Relevate MasterCard in the mail. So if you have one coming, you should be getting it soon. If you've been a DAC broker for a long time and haven't earned a commission, they're probably not going to send you a card because these cards are expensive to operate, maintain, and the mailing and the cost of the cards themselves. They're not going to be sending them out to people that really haven't earned a commission or using the account. Okay. Last slide, and we'll go to Q&A, and that is just a reminder for those of you that have been here, or if you're new, take a screenshot of this. Our call schedule is really super simple. The DAC corporate calls are Monday through Friday at 11:30 Eastern time. All of those are at daczoom.com. The daily huddles are great little snippets of success stories for the day, some of the funding stories that I just shared with you, as well as broker tips, to-dos, things that are going to help you really get out there, be motivated to drive your business. And then on Friday, we've got broker updates. So that's a little bit longer call, but those are great. You need to plug into those. And then every Monday, we've got this Zoom, Team Winn, for you guys, so that you've got a Q&A opportunity if you can't make it during the week for the corporate Zoom. So again, I'll go off screen here and ask if we have any questions. I see some comments here in the chat. Most of them are hello, hello. Let's see. Good evening. Awesome. Awesome. $2.2 million. Goodness. Yes, absolutely. So 40% of the loan amount. No, on the commission, that's 40% of the bonus revenue. That's all covered in our certification training, but bonus revenue is the amount of money that's there to pay out to the field based on what DAC gets paid. So no, it is not 40% of the loan amount. If that were the case, none of our clients would be able to afford getting funded through us. Just imagine if they got $100,000 funding, if the broker earned 40,000, how much would that client have to pay back to be able to pay that kind of commission, right? So it's 40% of the bonus revenue. Again, that's covered in the broker certification. I don't see anything else in the chat here. Ray got her card. Hey, Ray, I see you got your hand up. I'm going to ask you to unmute. How you doing tonight?
Good evening, Ellen. How you doing?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so this is a question. I had listened to a call some time back, and I know when Dave was, we have the new we can print through the other company now. So I know he mentioned if we if we order any like the cards and he mentioned something about a QRC code will automatically be on those cards.
Correct.
So if that be the case, is there like an expiration on how long that QRC code is used?
Nope, and it's a QR, okay, not a QRC, it's a QR code. And let me see if I can get logged into my back office for a second here and go pull that up. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know whether there was an expiration on it.
There's not an expiration. I think you're thinking about the old cards that we used to do where they had some special phone numbers on there that we're tracking. But this is not that way. So I'm over in the DAC Zoom. I logged in through a training account, so I don't have any of my personal information here. When you log into your back office, folks, what she's asking about is the print shop right here on the left-hand menu. When you click on print shop, it's going to take you over to our print shop. If you have not already set up an account, you'll need to create an account the first time that you get in there, create a username and a password to log in. I've already done that, and I've logged into my online store. But when you go in, if you go and order cards, I'm sorry. In the initial setup, it's going to ask you some basic information. It's going to ask you for your name, your phone number, contact info. Whatever you put in, it's going to create a QR code for the website that you put in. So here's what I recommend. When you go here, let me see, where did I edit that? Oh, it's under here. Under your profile, here's where you can edit it. Business cards, website right here. When you go to your business card, your website, this is the web address that's going to create a username. Again, I clicked on my profile there. And when you go down to your settings, whatever web address you put in here is where it's going to create a QR code. That QR code is a quick reference code where people can take a screenshot or take a photo or hold it up to your camera and it automatically opens up a website. I don't recommend that you use your long David Allen Capital web address. Let me go over and show what I mean. Over here, if I used my funding page, then my web address looks like this, right? I would not want this to be the web address on my business card. Why? Well, because that's a lot of letters and a lot of opportunity for someone to mistype their name, the business name, if they're trying to look up that web address. Instead, I would use my I'd use my getdacfunding.com or dacfundingoptions.com. Those are domain names that I have purchased and they redirect over to my David Allen Capital page. That way it's a short, easy to remember website and that QR code will go to that page that you create. And then if you ever decide if DAC creates a sales page that you like better somewhere down the road, then you can always redirect your domain to point to a different sales page. Okay, so always use a domain name. One other thing I'll point out since we're in here, as I typed out that web address name, notice I used capital letters at the beginning of each word to help set that spelling out a little bit easier to read for whoever's looking at my web address. Okay, that would be what I would recommend. Okay. Anything else on that? That's a great question there, Ray.
So you said when you set it up as capital letters for to make it easier to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
is it so I have a domain name now, so it don't have all the capital letters in it, but if I do it that way, it wouldn't be an issue. It wouldn't be like case sensitive or
Yeah,
anything.
no, it's not case sensitive when you type it in. Just when you use capital letters at the beginning of each word, like I did on showing you that lms.ellenwin.link, notice I had it capitalized so that it
Yes.
was easier for you to read, right? But
Yes.
you can type it in lowercase, all caps, it doesn't matter. It's not case sensitive when you're going to that website.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for the question. Anybody else got questions or a challenge or a success story that you want to share tonight?
I have a question, Ellen.
Yes. Hey
Hi,
there.
how are you
Had
doing?
that voice. How are you tonight?
Good. Could you tell me your domain name, your link to get domain names?
Yeah, let me see. Let me type it in here, make sure I've got it right.
Okay.
Yeah, so what she's asking about is my referral link that I use for domains. It's an affiliate link and I make a little bit of money on it, but I send them so much business. I decided to set up the affiliate page just simply because I love their websites. And that link is domains, DOMAINS, plural, domains.ellenwin.link. And that will take you over to the training tutorial for my domains. If you don't know how they work, there's a little tutorial video. If you do know how they work, underneath that is a page, and I'll show you that. I just went straight over there. I'll go back to screen share. It's this tutorial, why use domains. I go through 20 minutes of the explanation of it, how to do the redirects and all of that through Namecheap. Namecheap is who I use. If you want to use Namecheap, this is my affiliate link to order. It automatically credits me if you go through there. And then there's also a 30-day trial link for the email system that I use. I get a lot of questions on that, on the team emails that I send out, and it's very cost-effective system too. But both of those are at domains.ellenwin.link. Okay? Thanks
Okay.
for that
Thank you,
question.
Ellen. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, you bet. All right, anybody else before we wrap up for the night? I love seeing you guys on camera. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, I won't keep you. Appreciate your time tonight. And if you have people in your team that weren't here, make sure that they're looking out for the replay. I'll send this out via email here in just a few minutes, and it's live on my YouTube channel. Thanks again. I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see your name on the recruiter list and also on the